Alright, hey guys, so today we'll be looking at something that I've been wanting to do for a while, and that's refill this canister, this gas canister, which is something that we all use. This is the 110 or 110 gram or the 4 ounce version. So this is what we use for our gas stoves, even little lanterns and all that. And typically it is filled with isobutane, which is a mixture of not just butane but heavier gases, which allows it to maintain a higher vapor pressure, which is applicable and actually necessary if you are in the high mountains. It says here, filled camping canister for high mountain. So if you're at higher elevation, I would advise you not to refill, but to buy new when it's empty. But by and large, for the most of us, unless you're constantly at high elevation, this is a valid way of extending the life of these canisters. They're a bit pricey, and these simple 210 gram canisters, which is actually the volume of 2 of these fuel cans, are much cheaper and can be gotten at the dollar store and not just at outfitters. Sometimes it's hard to get these things. So to refill this, all you need is this tiny little device. I'll throw up a close-up picture here, but it has a little O-ring here, which when you put it into the valve, you have to press it down really quick and seat it so that the O-ring sits on the top of the valve and creates a seal, gas seal. And inside here, there is another little O-ring, which, let me open this up, which seals around the nozzle of this can. So the trick to filling this is actually, well, there are a few tricks or a few optimizations to get it up to its natural weight. So the weight for this can is 97 grams and empty, so there's nothing inside. It's 97 grams. They're more or less about the same, so you can round it up to 100 if you want to make it easy. And the larger 230 gram one is, at least the ones that I measure, is about 132, so 130 grams for those cans. I don't know the big one, the tall one, but generally these are the two that we use, the 4 ounce and the bigger one, the 8 ounce. So when you start, it's 0, and so when you refill it, this is it's supposed to be 110 grams. So it doesn't even put it in ounces here. Normally it's typically written somewhere below the branding, but at the bottom, 5 maple. So this is a 5 maple can. But anyway, so this is 110 grams or 4 ounces. So when you refill it and you weigh it on the scale, it has to be 110 plus essentially 100 grams. So 210 grams weight. So the first thing that you do is, wait, I should talk about this little refill thing first. I haven't finished yet. So there's a little O-ring here, there's a little O-ring here, and when you buy it, it typically comes with a spare, 1 or 2 spare O-rings. It's because I guess we lose it, especially the one up here. So this thing costs like $1 or at most $2 shipped. So if you're going on a true hike or something like that, and certain places are a bit hard to get these things, carry this with you. Let me weigh it. This thing weighs 4.3 grams or 0.153 of an ounce. So it literally weighs nothing. Toss it in your emergency kit or with your essential, your pills or whatever, and you'll be fine. There's another version which actually allows for transfer between cans like this from one can to the other can. It's threaded on both sides. I'll do another video about that. But I think these cans you can get in most places. So if you've been refilling these things from time to time, you will have a number of these cans at different points of emptying. This has very little left. This has a little bit more, and this is brand new. So the reason why you can't empty it out 100% into this can is because of the vapor pressures. They balance out, and so once it's no pressure difference, it's not going to transfer anymore across. So the first thing that you do always is start with the most empty can to dump into the lowest pressure. So that's how you empty out your cans progressively all the time. But before you start, the objective is to reduce the pressure inside here as much as possible. And what you do is to put it in the freezer. Just toss it in there for about 5 or 10 minutes until it's really nice and frosty, and then bring it out. The longer the better, actually. So if you can do 15-20 minutes, half an hour, whatever, leave it in there. It's not going to collapse, don't worry about that. It's properly strong. And once it's nice and cold, start with the most empty one, dump it in, then progress to the next one. Once you start seeing the rate of filling going down, put it in the freezer again. So typically for a thing like this, you would need about a minimum of 2 freezing cycles, up to 3. For the 230 gram, you will need a minimum of 3 freezing cycles, up to 4, depending on how fast you work and all that, and your ambient pressures. And the other thing that you do, if let's say you're in a cold climate, keep these cans as warm as possible. So put it under your jacket or something like that, warm it up to increase the pressure inside this can. Don't let this thing get to freezing. If this is freezing and this is freezing, your pressure difference is going to be less, and you'd have a less efficient transfer. So I'm going to now pop this in the freezer, and I'll bring it back in a few minutes. Okay, so it's been 15 minutes in the fridge, so let's get this going quickly. So this is the most empty one, and I'm going to dump as much as I can. Just line this up as well you can and press. You can hear it flowing. Okay, flow is slowing down. There's still a little bit left, never mind. Let's keep going. This is the half empty one. Is it the half empty one? No, this is the half empty one. Let's dump. It's a small puff, I wasn't fast enough, but... So the pressure difference is assisting with it. And I'm just going to weigh this out of curiosity to make sure I'm not overfilling. This is 125 now, just a little bit more. So I'm supposed to go, I'm supposed to go, to 220, 210. So this is the second. I'll have to refreeze it now because you can hear the flow has slowed. Anyway, so now I have Tare. I'm like maybe half full. So I have 140. So that means I have 40 grams of fuel inside. That's all. All right, so I'm going to pop this back in the fridge and let's keep going. All right, so it's been another 10 minutes. Let's give it another shot. See how much we can get in. Just keep flowing. Okay, I'll just put my mic here. When you start to hear that taper off, it means the pressure is nearly gone. So, well, it's quite full now. Let's see what we got. 197. So we've got 100. We just need to get another 10 grams in. So this is almost done. If you want to get another 10 grams in and you have a new can just there, you can do that. It'll definitely flow. The pressure difference will be sufficient. I'll just put you down there next to the can to listen. That is a very positive flow sound. Okay. All right, let's weigh it. 204. Yeah, good enough, close enough. So this can, which has just a little left, we can use it in the next refill, or if you're starting a barbecue or something and you have a propane torch or a butane torch, you can use this on that. That's what I basically use it for. So that's how you refill a gas can, guys. Took 2 freezers this time, minimum. Yeah. So I can reuse this once again. Just be aware that when you fill up with butane and you use your BRS, your pocket rockets, I use my Fire Maple FMS 116T and all that, the flame will seem a little bit less aggressive because once again the vapor pressure is lower on straight butane versus isobutane. So don't expect it to be as powerful as the original can, but it's good enough and it saves us quite a few bucks. One of this in Malaysia is, gosh, what are we going for now? 450? 4 ringgit, 450, something like that. And one of these is about 15 ringgit, it's about 3 times the price. So for the price difference, I'm willing to have a little bit less performance and still refill this. Once you start to see rust around the rim, around the roll seam here, or if there's any major dents and all that, discard it, puncture it before you discard it so that it does not explode in anybody's face. One of my friends, her dad actually, for some reason he was doing something near a fire in the ground, and one of these type of cans, I think it was maybe an aerosol can, not particularly gas, but some sort of aerosol can, was in the ground near the fire. It exploded with him nearby. Thank God he didn't get lacerated badly, but he got 2nd-degree burns on like 1/4 of his body. So any of these aerosol cans, even if it's like hairspray, insect repellent cans and all, they all use methane. Is it methane as a propellant? Yeah, use methane as a propellant, which is natural gas. So puncture a hole in it. You don't need to use anything fancy, just a screwdriver. Once it's empty, you press it, there's no more pressure, just give it one good whack, make a hole in it. That sorts you out. Do the same for these cans, do the same for all the cans. And yeah, that's my safety announcement, PSA. Yeah, so guys, I hope you found this useful. Buy this. If you're through hiking, if you're camping, it just makes sense to buy this little adapter, $2 from AliExpress. On Amazon, I think it's a little bit more expensive. If you're willing to wait, just get it on AliExpress. And yeah, refill your gas cans. It says not to refill, but this valve doesn't care which way the gas flows. And as long as you do it safely in a well-ventilated area, I don't see a technical reason not to. So guys, thanks for watching. I hope you found something useful in this video. Let me know how you refill your gas cans if you do. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.